Ever met a Taurus and thought, wow, you're a bit different? Well, you're not alone. Today, we're diving deep into why Taurus is one of the most intriguing signs of the zodiac. And trust me, their quirks will leave you speechless. Whether you're a Taurus yourself or you've had the chance to interact with one, you know that they bring a whole new level of complexity to the zodiac. At first glance, they might seem calm, collected, and even a little bit predictable. But trust me, beneath that exterior, there's a world of surprises waiting to be discovered. Now, I bet you think you know Taurus. Maybe you've had a Taurus friend, partner, or family member and thought you had them all figured out. But here's the thing, Taurus isn't just a typical zodiac sign. There's a unique blend of traits that make them stand out in ways that might seem, well, weird. If you've ever found yourself wondering why Taurus can be so private or why they stick to their opinions so firmly, you're in the right place. I'm Minan. And like many of you, I've spent a lot of time reflecting on the different zodiac signs and how they interact with the world. Personally, I've always found Taurus to be one of the most fascinating signs. As an Aquarius, I can tell you, our minds work very differently. We love to change things up, to innovate, to explore new ideas. But Taurus, well, they're more grounded. And sometimes that can be a challenge for someone like me to understand. But the truth is, once you get to know them, you see that their weirdness is exactly what makes them so special. So in this video, we're going to break down 25 reasons why being a Taurus is not just unique but downright weird in the best possible way. From how they approach life, love, friendships, and even their emotional world, you'll start to see Taurus in a completely new light. But don't worry, I won't just talk about the traits, I'll also share my personal experiences with Taurus folks and give you a deeper understanding of what makes them tick. But before we dive into the specifics, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me your zodiac sign and what you think about Taurus. Do you agree with these traits? Or do you think they're misunderstood? I'll be reading your comments throughout the video. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on the mysterious ways of Taurus. Alright, let's get started. In our first point, we're going to talk about something that I find particularly interesting, and it's something that could leave you scratching your head about Taurus, their secretive nature. Why are they so closed off? And what makes them keep their emotions and thoughts so private? Let's unpack that mystery. Part 2, Taurus and their mysterious emotional nature. Taurus keeps secrets and is private. Let's start with one of the most intriguing traits that make Taurus seem so mysterious. Taurus is one of the most private signs in the zodiac. If you've ever met a Taurus, you've probably noticed that they rarely share their true emotions, even with those closest to them. To them, their emotions are sacred, and they won't open up unless they've built an unwavering trust with someone. Until then, you'll find them distant and reserved, almost like an enigma. Real life story. I've had a Taurus friend for years, and I'll tell you, it took me a long time to understand them. Every time I tried to talk about something deep, like emotions or personal thoughts, they would just smile and change the subject. Sometimes, I felt like I didn't really know them. Even though we'd been friends for a while, they were always kind and easygoing. But there was this invisible wall that kept me from getting closer. However, Over time, I realized that their reluctance to open up wasn't because they didn't trust me. It was because they value their privacy deeply. Personal insight. Now, honestly, I don't think this is a bad thing at all. In fact, I admire it. Taurus's tendency to keep their personal world private is a way of protecting themselves. They don't easily share because they want to create a safe, controlled environment in which they can process things on their own. As someone who is more extroverted, like an Aquarius, I initially found this hard to understand. But now I see how important it is to preserve one's inner world, especially in today's world of constant sharing. Taurus and emotional complexity. Taurus doesn't just keep their thoughts to themselves, they also have a deep emotional world that they keep hidden. They can seem calm, collected, or even indifferent on the surface. But there's much more beneath that. Sometimes, you'll meet a Taurus who's joking around, having a good time. But you can tell there's something deeper going on inside. And that's the thing, Taurus won't reveal everything at once. They're selective about when and how they open up. And that makes them incredibly complex to understand. Story example. I'm sure many of you can relate to this in your own friendships or relationships. I had another instance where I tried to comfort a Taurus friend when they were going through a tough time. And they were so closed off. I didn't know how to help. But then, weeks later, they shared an insightful piece of advice with me, as if they had been quietly observing and processing everything. That moment made me realize that Taurus isn't distant by nature, they just don't feel the need to broadcast their feelings to the world. Instead, they carefully choose when to share, making their emotional outpourings feel even more genuine and impactful. Personal insight. I believe this ability to keep their emotions private is actually a sign of maturity. Taurus doesn't feel the need to voice every little thing they're feeling. In a world where everyone seems to be sharing every thought and emotion, Taurus reminds us that it's okay to hold things close to the chest sometimes. There's something really powerful about having control over your emotions and deciding who gets to see your vulnerability. Taurus and privacy in relationships. When it comes to relationships, Taurus values stability and doesn't like to open up to just anyone. This makes them seem distant or even cold to others. But in reality, it's just their way of testing whether someone is worthy of their trust. They don't want to share their private world with just anyone, it takes time and genuine connection for them to let someone in. Real-life example. Again, thinking back to my Taurus friend, there was a period when they started sharing more personal details with me. But only after we had known each other for a few years. It wasn't that they were trying to push me away. Rather, they wanted to make sure that our friendship was deep enough to handle the weight of those personal stories. The moment they opened up was one of those small breakthroughs that made me realize how much they value trust and authenticity. Why Taurus protects their privacy. Taurus's need for privacy is not about being secretive for the sake of it, it's about protection. In a world where everyone seems to overshare, Taurus believes in keeping their personal life private and only revealing what's necessary. This can make them seem aloof. But it's their way of ensuring that their most vulnerable parts stay intact and are not subject to judgment or exploitation. Conclusion of Part 2. To sum it up, Taurus's need for privacy and secrecy is one of the most defining traits that sets them apart. They don't reveal everything because they respect the power of their own emotions. When they do share, it's only with those who have earned their trust. So while it may seem strange at first, there's a lot of strength in their emotional restraint. They may be difficult to understand, but once you get to know them, you'll realize that their quiet nature is a crucial part of who they are. Part 3, Taurus and their unyielding determination. Taurus never changes their mind. Let's talk about another trait that makes Taurus stand out in a major way: stubbornness. Once a Taurus has made up their mind about something, it's nearly impossible to change it. They are infamous for holding firm to their beliefs and opinions. And no matter how much evidence or persuasion you throw their way, they won't budge. It's this stubbornness that can make them seem both frustrating and incredibly strong-willed. Real-life example. Now, I don't know about you, but I've definitely encountered this in my own life. I remember one time, I tried to convince my Taurus friend that they should change their approach to a problem they were facing. I had all the logical points laid out. But every time I made a suggestion, they simply wouldn't listen. It felt like talking to a brick wall. But here's the funny part: eventually, their method worked out perfectly. And I realized, they weren't being stubborn just to be difficult. They had a conviction in their approach that I couldn't appreciate at the time, but which turned out to be spot on. Personal insight. From my perspective, there's something really powerful about Taurus's ability to stick to their guns. Sure, it can be frustrating when they won't change their mind, even when the facts are clear. But at the same time, it's a reminder of the strength of their convictions. While the world around us often celebrates flexibility, Taurus teaches us the value of holding firm to what we believe, even when it's tough. Taurus's stubbornness in action. This level of determination can sometimes go beyond just small disagreements. It can shape their entire approach to life. When a Taurus sets their sights on a goal, they will not stop until they achieve it. This relentless pursuit of their objectives can sometimes seem obsessive, and it often leads them to disregard the feelings or opinions of others. Story example. Let me tell you a story that really highlights this. I once knew a Taurus who was working on a big project at work. They had their own way of doing things. And despite all their colleagues offering suggestions or adjustments, they refused to change. Even when the project hit a major snag, the Taurus didn't back down. They worked harder, stayed late, and solved the issue their way. The result? Success? And that's the thing, Taurus doesn't just push forward for the sake of being stubborn. They push forward because they believe in their ability to make it work, no matter the obstacles. Personal insight. Personally, I admire this about Taurus. While I, as an Aquarius, often like to explore different possibilities and approaches, I've come to respect the Taurus mentality. Their refusal to waver is a unique strength. It's like they have this inner strength that won't allow them to quit, no matter how many people tell them they're wrong. That's a level of focus and self-belief that's hard to ignore. Taurus and their unyielding focus. One of the most fascinating things about Taurus's determination is their ability to focus with laser precision. When they've made a decision, they're not just stubborn, they're focused. They have a unique ability to block out distractions and hone in on their goals. Whether it's in their career, relationships, or personal pursuits, this ability to stay the course, no matter what, is something that many other signs struggle with. Real-life example. I've seen this with Taurus friends who have embarked on personal goals. One of my Taurus friends decided to run a marathon. They didn't just sign up and train sporadically, no. They created a rigorous training schedule, stuck to it, and didn't let anything distract them. When race day came, they crossed the finish line without faltering. And let me tell you, I've never seen someone more determined and proud of their accomplishment. This type of unyielding focus is what makes Taurus so unique. Why Taurus's stubbornness can be a superpower. Now, I know what you're thinking, how can this stubbornness be anything other than a flaw? But the truth is, Taurus's persistence and determination often lead to success. Their focus, combined with their refusal to listen to negative opinions, allows them to push through difficulties that others might abandon. While other signs might get distracted or give up halfway through, Taurus remains steadfast. And that's why they're often able to accomplish what others believe is impossible. Personal insight. Think about it, without that kind of determination, we wouldn't have some of the world's greatest achievements. Every breakthrough, every major innovation, every success story has its roots in someone who refused to give up. So, when you encounter a Taurus who seems to be stubborn, remember that they're not being difficult, they're just determined to succeed. Taurus and their resilience. Even in situations where Taurus is met with failure, they bounce back stronger than ever. It's as if their ability to push forward is an intrinsic part of who they are. Their resilience is almost unmatched. And once they've set their mind to something, they'll keep working at it until they've succeeded, no matter how long it takes. Story example. A personal story comes to mind. A Taurus I know had been struggling with their career for a while. There were setbacks after setbacks, but they never once gave up. They kept refining their skills, networking, and learning. Finally, one day, everything clicked. They landed a job that many people thought they'd never get. And looking back, I realized that their success wasn't just luck, it was their refusal to give up, no matter how hard things got. Conclusion of part 3. So, what do we learn from Taurus's stubbornness? Well, it's not about being inflexible or difficult, it's about being resolute and determined. Their unyielding nature is actually a testament to their strength. When you meet a Taurus who won't budge on something, know that they're not just being stubborn, they're showing the world their inner resilience, their drive, and their commitment to achieving their goals. And in a world where flexibility is often overvalued, Taurus's unwavering focus is a breath of fresh air. Part 4. Taurus's loyalty, calmness, and subtle jealousy. Taurus's loyalty and trustworthiness in relationships. Now that we've touched on Taurus's determination and private nature, let's talk about one of their most cherished qualities, loyalty. Taurus is one of the most loyal signs of the zodiac. When they commit to a relationship, whether it's romantic, friendly, or professional, they do so with their whole heart. Their loyalty is unwavering. And once you earn their trust, they will stand by you no matter what. Real life example. I have a Taurus friend who is truly the definition of loyalty. They've been in a committed relationship for years. And one thing I've noticed is that they're completely devoted to their partner. It's not just about the good times, but through challenges, Taurus will be there, supporting, protecting, and offering a steady hand. I remember a time when their partner went through a tough phase at work. While everyone else might have been unsure about how to help, Taurus stood by them, offering advice, comfort, and practical support. It's this quiet but powerful commitment that makes them such incredible partners. Personal insight. I've come to realize that Taurus's loyalty is one of their most admirable traits. In a world where people sometimes take relationships for granted or only stick around when things are easy, Taurus's dedication is a rare gem. They expect loyalty in return, and they don't settle for anything less. This creates a deep sense of security, knowing that they'll be there for you no matter what. Taurus brings calm to their surroundings. One of the reasons Taurus is so captivating is their ability to bring calmness to any environment. In moments of chaos or stress, Taurus remains unshaken. They don't rush to react or panic like other signs might. Instead, they stay grounded and bring a sense of tranquility to everyone around them. It's as if their calmness has a magnetic effect, helping others feel at ease in even the most hectic situations. Real-life example. I remember a situation at work where everything seemed to be falling apart. People were scrambling, trying to figure out solutions. But then the Taurus manager stepped in. With a calm and collected demeanor, they assessed the situation, broke down the steps to resolve the issue, and communicated everything with such clarity that the whole team immediately felt more grounded. Their calm energy diffused the tension in the room. And that's the kind of influence Taurus has. They help stabilize things without ever seeming ruffled. Personal insight. I've realized that this steady, calming nature is something many of us could use more of. In a world where people often thrive on excitement and chaos, Taurus reminds us of the power of being calm and composed. Their ability to stay centered allows them to make better decisions, think clearly, and guide others in a positive direction. For me, Taurus's calmness is a powerful form of leadership that's both refreshing and, in a way, weird, because in a world full of noise, calmness is often underrated. Taurus and their subtle jealousy. Now, let's address another aspect of Taurus's personality that's often misunderstood: jealousy. Taurus has a subtle streak of jealousy, but it's not the kind that comes out in dramatic outbursts. Instead, they tend to internalize their feelings, and jealousy manifests in small, quiet ways, like a subtle glance or a guarded expression. Taurus doesn't tend to create drama or stir the pot when they feel possessive, but you can tell when they're feeling insecure or protective. Real-life example. I've seen this in a Taurus friend who, though they were always calm and collected, would sometimes give a quiet but pointed comment when they felt someone was getting too close to their partner. It wasn't an outburst or a public confrontation, it was just a shift in their behavior. A quiet observation, or well-timed comment, that indicated they weren't too happy about something. It was a subtle, reserved form of jealousy, but no less intense. They weren't about to make a scene, but they definitely let their feelings be known in a calm and controlled way. Personal insight. Personally, I find this approach to jealousy kind of fascinating. In a world where many people show jealousy through loud, dramatic actions, Taurus takes the opposite route. They might not express it outwardly, but they never forget. It's almost like a quiet internal battle, one that they choose to handle privately rather than making it a public issue. In a way, it's a more dignified form of jealousy, But it also makes it a bit weird because it's not immediately obvious to everyone around them. Taurus and their uncompromising nature. Something that really sets Taurus apart is their refusal to compromise when it comes to their values or their relationships. If they believe in something, they will stand by it no matter what, even if others disagree. Their unwavering sense of loyalty and their values define who they are. And they won't back down just to please others. Real-life example. I once witnessed a Taurus refusing to back down on a particular issue at work. They were in a meeting where everyone was trying to push a decision that went against their core beliefs, while others were ready to fold under pressure. The Taurus stood their ground, calmly but firmly making it clear they weren't going to compromise on something they felt was important. The rest of the team respected them for it, even though it created some tension. That moment showed me just how strong Taurus's convictions are, and how they don't just bend to fit in with others. Personal insight. I've come to really respect this about Taurus. Their commitment to their values and their inability to compromise just for the sake of peace is something that should be admired. It's not always easy to stand your ground, especially in a world where many people prioritize fitting in. But Taurus teaches us that it's okay to be firm in your beliefs and to stay true to yourself, no matter what. Conclusion of Part 4. In conclusion, Taurus's calm demeanor, loyalty, and subtle expressions of jealousy make them both mysterious and deeply reliable. They bring stability to their relationships and surroundings, and their commitment to what they value creates a level of trust and security that is hard to match. While they might not be the loudest in a room, their quiet strength and unwavering loyalty leave a lasting impression. And yes, their subtle ways of dealing with jealousy add yet another layer of complexity to their weird but endearing personality. Part 5. Taurus's passion, sensuality, and approach to love. Taurus's passion is unmatched. One of the most striking things about Taurus is their intense passion. Whether it's in their work, hobbies, or relationships, Taurus doesn't just dip their toes into things, they dive in headfirst. When they care about something, they do it with all of their heart. And this level of passion often leaves a lasting impression on others. Some might even say that Taurus is one of the most passionate signs of the zodiac, sometimes even rivaling Scorpio in terms of emotional depth. Real-life example. I have a Taurus friend who absolutely pours their heart into everything they do. When they started a new project at work, they didn't just go through the motions. They studied, planned, and executed the task with a level of passion and dedication that was undeniable. The results were spectacular. But more than that, the way they approached it showed just how deeply Taurus can invest in something they believe in. It wasn't about recognition for them, it was about doing something to the best of their ability. Personal insight. Honestly, I find this kind of passion both inspiring and a little intimidating. Taurus's commitment to whatever they care about is something we all could learn from. They don't just go through the motions, they bring energy and depth to everything they do. And that's what makes them so special. Their passion isn't fleeting, it's enduring. And it drives everything they put their energy into. Taurus and their sensuality. Taurus is ruled by Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and sensuality. It's no surprise that they approach intimacy in a deeply sensual and deliberate way. For Taurus, physical touch and affection are an expression of emotional connection. And they believe that love should be savored slowly and thoroughly. This is not a sign to rush through anything, they take their time, appreciating every moment of intimacy. Real life example. I once witnessed this slow, deliberate approach to love when I observed a Taurus couple. They didn't rush through their interactions. Instead, they enjoyed the small moments, holding hands, making eye contact, or sharing a quiet dinner. It was clear that for them, every gesture had a deeper meaning. Their love wasn't about big, flashy gestures, it was about the everyday moments that brought them closer together. Personal insight. To be honest, I think Taurus's approach to love is beautiful. In a world where we're all running at full speed, rushing through everything from our careers to our relationships, Taurus reminds us to slow down. Their belief in taking the time to truly connect with a partner is something we could all learn from. Love, for Taurus, isn't just about the destination, it's about enjoying the journey, one moment at a time. Taurus takes their time in the bedroom. When it comes to intimacy, Taurus also prefers to take things slow. They don't rush through physical encounters, but instead focus on building a deep emotional and physical connection. For them, seduction isn't about a quick fling or a fleeting encounter, it's about building a connection that lasts. Every touch, every kiss, every glance is deliberate and meaningful. Real life example. I remember a conversation I had with a Taurus about their approach to relationships. They told me that they view intimacy as a slow dance, something that builds gradually, step by step. They don't rush the process. And they certainly don't believe in casual encounters. For Taurus, sex is more than just physical, it's an expression of love and a deeper connection with someone. And while this might seem weird to people who are used to faster-paced relationships, it makes perfect sense for Taurus. They want intimacy to be something sacred, something that reflects their values. Personal insight. I have to say, I really respect this approach to intimacy. In our fast-paced world where everything seems to be rushed, Taurus teaches us that true connection requires patience. When it comes to building meaningful relationships, taking things slow isn't a weakness, it's a strength. It allows for real intimacy to flourish, not just physically but emotionally. Taurus and their deep emotional connection. Another reason Taurus's approach to intimacy is so unique is that they don't just seek physical pleasure, they seek emotional connection. For Taurus, a kiss isn't just about the physical sensation, it's about expressing trust, love, and a desire for long-term commitment. Their kisses are a reflection of their emotions and their need for a deep bond with their partner. Real-life example. I once saw this in a Taurus couple who had been together for years. Every kiss they shared wasn't just a quick peck, it was a moment of connection. It was clear that when they kissed, they were sharing more than just physical affection, they were sharing their hearts. It's this deep emotional connection that makes Taurus's approach to love so profound and meaningful. Personal insight. I find this to be one of the most beautiful aspects of Taurus's personality. In a world where love is often treated as something fleeting or superficial, Taurus reminds us that intimacy should be about trust and emotional connection. They don't just want physical closeness, they want to build a bond that lasts. One that's built on shared experiences, trust, and respect. Taurus's need for respect in courtship. Taurus doesn't just want anyone, they want someone who respects them and shares their values. They don't settle for casual relationships or superficial connections. When Taurus enters a relationship, they do so with the expectation of sincerity, commitment, and respect. They're not interested in playing games or dealing with dishonesty. They want someone who sees them for who they truly are. Real-life example. I've seen this trait in Taurus individuals in both romantic and platonic relationships. One Taurus friend of mine once told me that they don't believe in casual dating. They wanted someone who would truly appreciate them, who would respect their values and their need for stability. This kind of expectation might seem a bit intense to some, but to Taurus, it's non-negotiable. They don't waste time on relationships that don't have long-term potential. Personal insight. I admire this about Taurus. In a world where people often rush into relationships or settle for less, Taurus's approach is a refreshing reminder that we should always value respect and honesty in our connections. If you want a lasting, meaningful relationship, you need to make sure that the foundation is built on mutual respect and understanding. Conclusion of Part 5. In conclusion, Taurus's passion, sensuality, and approach to love are some of the most captivating and weird aspects of their personality. They don't rush through relationships or intimacy, they build connections that are deep, meaningful, and built to last. They take their time, savoring each moment, and ensuring that their love is rooted in trust, respect, and emotional connection. In a world that often values speed over substance, Taurus reminds us that true love and intimacy take time and patience. And that's something we can all learn from. Part 6. Taurus's unforgiving nature and their unmatched resilience. Taurus finds it hard to forgive and never forgets. Now, let's talk about a side of Taurus that many people may not fully understand, their difficulty in forgiving. Once a Taurus has been wronged, it's incredibly hard for them to let go of the past. Their memory is sharp, and they have an almost uncanny ability to remember every detail of an offense. Even small betrayals or disrespect can stay with them for a long time, sometimes forever. So, if you're close to a Taurus, it's crucial to respect their trust, because once it's broken, it's not easy to rebuild. Real-life example. I remember a time when a Taurus friend of mine had a falling out with another friend. The betrayal wasn't huge, but it was enough to break their trust. Months later, even though everyone else had moved on, my Taurus friends still hadn't forgiven them. There was no outward anger or confrontation, just a quiet, lingering distance. They didn't shout. They didn't make a scene. But the trust was gone. And it became clear that it would take a lot of time, and maybe never, to heal that wound. Personal insight. I've learned that this unforgiving nature is just a part of Taurus's personality. Their ability to remember every slight, no matter how small, isn't out of spite, it's a reflection of how deeply they care. For Taurus, loyalty is everything. And if you break that trust, you might find it very difficult to earn it back. It's a good reminder that relationships, whether romantic or platonic, should be built on honesty and respect. Because once Taurus feels hurt, it's almost impossible to erase that memory. Taurus's resilience, rising stronger. Despite their difficulty in forgiving, Taurus is one of the most resilient signs of the zodiac. When life knocks them down, they don't stay down for long. Taurus has an incredible ability to rise up, stronger than before. Even though they may seem unbreakable on the outside, they do have their limits. But once they recover, they come back with a renewed sense of purpose and determination. Real-life example. I've witnessed this firsthand. A Taurus I know faced a major setback in their career. It was a tough blow. But after taking some time to process, they didn't just give up or dwell on it. Instead, they took the time to learn from the experience, make adjustments, and came back even stronger. Not only did they surpass their previous success, but they also became an inspiration to others. Their resilience is unmatched, and that ability to bounce back is what truly sets Taurus apart. Personal insight. What I admire most about Taurus is their resilience. When life gets tough, they don't give up. Instead, they face adversity head-on, learning from their mistakes and growing in the process. This ability to rebuild themselves, stronger and more determined, is something we could all learn from. In a world where it's easy to get discouraged or give up, Taurus teaches us the power of perseverance and inner strength. Taurus's patience and steady growth. Another aspect of Taurus's strength is their patience. They don't rush through life, they understand that good things take time. Whether it's building a career, a relationship, or working toward personal goals, Taurus understands the value of steady, consistent effort. They don't expect immediate results, they know that true growth takes time and that slow, steady progress is often more rewarding than rushing to the finish line. Real-life example. I've seen this patience in action with a Taurus friend who's been working on a personal project for years. Most people would have given up by now. But not Taurus. They've faced setbacks, challenges, and moments of doubt. But they've always kept moving forward. Their patience is a testament to their belief that good things come to those who wait, and when that payoff comes, it's always worth the wait. Personal insight. Patience is one of the greatest virtues Taurus possesses, and it's something we can all learn from. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to get frustrated when things don't happen as quickly as we want. But Taurus reminds us that sometimes, the best things in life are worth the wait. Whether it's a career, a relationship, or personal growth, slow and steady wins the race. Conclusion: embracing the Taurus weirdness. In conclusion, Taurus is a sign filled with contradictions that make them uniquely weird. Their quiet, reserved nature, combined with their intense passion, resilience, and unwavering loyalty, make them one of the most intriguing signs in the zodiac. They may be hard to understand at times, but once you get past their exterior, you'll find a heart full of depth, loyalty, and strength. And while their weirdness might set them apart, it's this very nature that makes them so special and admirable. Call to action. Before we wrap up, I want to ask you a question. Do you agree with these insights about Taurus? Or do you have your own experiences with a Taurus in your life? Leave a comment below and share your thoughts. I'd love to hear how you see this amazing sign and how Taurus has impacted your life. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Taurus and want to learn more about the zodiac, astrology, or even life insights from a Buddhist perspective, make sure to subscribe to the Path to Buddhist Wisdom. By subscribing, you'll stay updated on all our videos. From understanding zodiac signs to exploring how their unique traits can teach us more about ourselves and the world around us. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss out on a new video. Thank you so much for watching. And I hope this video has helped you see Taurus in a new light. Take care. And I'll see you in the next one.